pissing down.
What is it? War and Peace.
Going to find the War and Peace Hotel at North Parramatta, old rock and roll live music venue. Yeah, I think it's just up here. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today it's all about the War and Peace Hotel, which was a very popular night spot in the 70s and early 80s, and it was located on the corner of Ross and Church Street in Parramatta.
People thought I was crazy and that song was all the rage. Oh, a lot of water flows beneath the bridge in time. And about the bullshit cause we've come to fuck your mind.
So it was apparently the place to go in the late 70s and early 80s. There was a heavy focus on disco at the time, so the crowd would often attend wearing their disco regalia, like the Saturday Night Fever outfits, and they did have like a flashing dance floor, red velour seats, so it's kind of decked out in, you know, the kind of decor of the times. So live bands did actually replace that scene, and they did start to get a lot of really good bands there. Some of those bands that I'll talk about have obviously gone on to become, you know, huge successes, whether overseas or just in Australia. So yeah, a little bit of the history. It was actually quite difficult to find any information about the War and Peace. The owner was a French man called Anton Domin. When you first started to go there, you actually had to pretend that you were, or not pretend, you had to sort of say that you were eating a meal because of the liquor license laws at the time. So you had to sort of have a meal if you wanted to come in. What can I tell you? It sort of lasted between about 1978 till about 1985, 86, I think. They then, I think, turned it into a Chinese restaurant and it was never heard of again, so... So here I am, I've found the location for the War and Peace Hotel on the corner of Ross Street and George. Can you stop?
Yeah, start talking, I don't know.
Is it Ross and George?
A church.
That's why I thought, was it
Ross and Church
Street or Ross?
Yeah.
So here's the Royal Oak here, and there's all the corners of Ross and Church over here.
No, where are you going? Come back.
Pretty sure it is this one. From looking at the Facebook group chats, there's this corner over here, this corner here, the Royal Oak, which we're standing at now. There's a corner over here. Yeah, we're pretty sure that it is this particular one here. Yeah. If anyone wants to add to it, add some comments and let me know. If you kind of have a look over there, the Royal Oak is standing on that corner of Church and Ross. It might be that one, I'm not 100% sure. It was before my time, so from what I've researched, I actually think it's this building in front of me here. So the old War and Peace, Parramatta, former live music venue of the 70s and 80s. So yeah, taking a step back in time.
Gonna sit down and talk to myself.
You could only find 3 international bands that played at the War and Peace, and these include the Commodores on their world tour, the Drifters and the Platters. Now, I won't sort of sit here and, you know, relate all the bands that played at the War and Peace. What I might do is just list them so you can kind of have a look. There's so many bands that played there. You know, people like the Hoodoo Gurus, Machinations, John English, the Lonely Hearts, the New Christs, the Johnnies, Moving Pictures, Kevin Borich, Mad Gorilla, D Minor and the Discords, etc., etc. So I'll just list them so you can have a look at them. There was also a bunch of DJs who frequented the place, including Richard Wilkins. So he was quite busy during this period. As well, Donnie Sutherland. Again, you know, it seems like if you see my previous vlogs, in particular Sweethearts, the same kind of DJs seem to be moving around in these circles. Holger Brockman apparently was there as well, and George Smilovich, and an American DJ, Mike T. So, memories of the War and Peace. Now, I will preface this by saying I've only really read the Facebook group comments and perhaps a website I think called Australian Music Directory or something like that. So here we go. One person seems to recall Angus Young from AC/DC allegedly being asked to join Rose Tattoo on stage when they played at the War and Peace. It was about June 1978, and the songs that they played were by Little Richard. One was called Rip It Up and the other one was called Keep a Knocking. So yeah, that would have been fantastic if in fact it is accurate. Another guy recalls meeting Billy Thorpe from Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs as he was strolling across from the Royal Oak Hotel or pub across the road. Lots and lots of people who have uploaded photos of the time. So I'll just sort of, you know, do a little bit of a slideshow where you can see, you know, what these people look like. Some of you might even recognize yourself. Apparently, look, there were positive comments, and as well, there might have been some negative ones about, you know, maybe some of the fights that occurred, which, to be honest with you, fights occurred in every, you know, club in Sydney. I wasn't even able to find a photo of what the War and Peace looked like from the outside. So that's a bit unfortunate. But anyway, look, there were stories of, you know, even band members or roadies that were electrocuted again, which seemed to be a common theme during that period. The fire safety laws and the capacity, you know, the amount of people that were allowed in, underage issues and, you know, OH&S. A lot of those sort of safety measures that should have been in place weren't. So it was a bit of a different attitude and a different period, and they seem to get away with it. So the War and Peace is one of those, you know, whatever happened to that venue, a lot of people will remember it and have fantastic memories. Other people don't even know that it was there. So if you were from the western suburbs, it was probably a fabulous place to attend, whether it was for the disco side of things or whether it was the live music. You know, it wasn't a place that you had to sort of travel all the way to town. It was local if you were from the western suburbs. So I reckon there's a lot of you out there who might want to comment and let me know your you know, memories of the War and Peace. So hope you like it. I do have other videos coming up, and even the ones from, you know, previous times where I visited. Recently I went to the Northern Beaches, so you can sort of see some of those videos up here. As well, I will be, you know, looking at other venues. So it's just a really fun way to, you know, take a step back in time and just a trip down memory lane for a lot of you. Hope you're enjoying it. If you haven't already subscribe so that you can actually see when the next ones are coming up. Otherwise, yeah, you won't sort of know. So thanks for watching. Cheers.
People thought I was crazy and that song was all the rage. Of a lot of water flows beneath the bridge in time. And about the bullshit cause we've come to fuck your mind. 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 Yes, I know exactly that somebody was thirsty. People pop their pills while the others pop their beer. There's a lot of water flows beneath the bridge in time. About the bullshit cause we've come to fuck your mind.